Let me confess a problem, a failing. When it comes to my growing in my relationship with God, I talk a whole lot more than I do. Maybe you're like that too. We have the greatest plans and desires of the heart to do something new and more and pray. But after a great start, we get busy, distracted, the fervor dies down, and we don't follow through for the long haul. It's not that we don't know what we need or don't know what's good for us or that we are lukewarm in our faith. I think it's something else that blunts this enthusiasm. And in this video, I want to offer a brief overview of a 500-year-old way of praying every day that I think will change your life. It's changed mine. I'm talking about the Examen Prayer of St. Ignatius of Loyola. The Examen is in 5 easy steps, and you can be as quick as you'd like, but it can fill us with gratitude, have us look at what needs to be better in our lives and turns us toward the future. That can change our lives at the root. And the hope is that with something this good, surely I can overcome my eventual growing faint-heartedness, my failure to stay the course. And may it be that the inability to endure will be overcome if there's less of me in the equation and more of God. Will I go on long term if I allow God to change me through the Examen process? Let's see if that's the case. Let's get started. My name is Deacon Richard Hudzik, if you don't know me, and for the past many decades I've been reading and thinking about faith and spirituality. And that information is oftentimes more in my head than lived out. And so these days I want to shake that head of mine loose, and maybe by talking with you about what I've discovered, we can grow together in faith. That's my hope. And so today, the Examen, spelled E-X-A-M-E-N, not the examination of conscience, but the Examen. In a nutshell, it's a way of recognizing God's presence in my life, really. It is a conversation of ourselves to seeing God here and now, walking with us, accompanying us, being available. The word examine is a Latin word that does indeed have to do with the idea of examination, but in our Catholic mindset, examination is usually examination of conscience that relates typically to getting ready for the sacrament of reconciliation. Not necessarily, but typically. The Examen is different. It's a daily, at least daily, series of questions, 5 in number, that we ask ourselves in dialogue with God, questions to think about the day and about God's presence with us. And maybe this is best explained by doing rather than simply talking about it. And there are a variety of ways to do it, but as you look at the different ways that are on offer about the Examen, they all have the common thread of becoming aware of God's presence with me right now, here and today. So here's one way, and it has the 5 steps. Step 1, we quiet ourselves, even a bit. We stop. We ask for the grace to see our lives right now as God sees our lives. What does God see? It's not to be negative or to be a harsh judge of our lives. We're seeing as God sees, to ask ourselves what a loving glance at us would reveal. I might be in turmoil, yeah, but is that all that is seen by someone who loves me? Probably not. One who loves me can see from a wider perspective the longer trajectory of my life. The difficulty I face right now is not the entirety of who I am. Or right now I might be on top of the world. And what does that mean to one who loves me? Probably a sense that this is wonderful. Step 1 is about asking for the Holy Spirit, for the eyes, the vision to see who and where I am right now so that I can learn what I need to learn in this Examen. Now, step 2 is my favorite. Step 2 acknowledges the things in my life today that I can be grateful for. I look over the past 24 hours and think about the good fortune I have. Maybe it's my health, my job, my marriage. I might notice the beauty of the weather and be grateful for that. Or how about that relationship, that friendship maybe that was deepened or repaired today? What is amazing, or better said, what is so warming and soul affirming is that there is always something to be grateful for. Always. We engage in this look at blessings with the gift of the Holy Spirit at hand as we asked for in step 1. And with this assistance, we have a broader view of our own reality. Bringing to mind what is good softens us. It slows us down. It stops a little bit of any internal craziness we might be feeling. It's hard to be sour when we are grateful. It turns us to the source of blessings. Now, step 3 notices God's presence. Here we look back over the past 24 hours and we think of those moments when we felt an increase in faith or hope or love, and we want to name specifically what we were doing and who was there and what it was that we felt. Was it something at work or a sunrise or some new understanding of something that was previously eluding us? Why did that experience bring us to God or faith or depth? What was happening that made us feel joy, peace, love, patience, kindness? What is God saying to me in these moments? Now, step 4 notices the lack of God's presence. Thinking over the past 24 hours, we ask, where did I fail to be who I have the ability to be? What was painful or sinful because of me, because of another? Maybe we go over the past day, hour by hour, to remember where we felt a decrease in faith, hope, or love. What happened there? What was I doing when this decrease occurred? Specifically, did I not choose to love? What part of this rests with me? Is it something I did, or is it something someone else did? Where I chose to love, I give praise. Where I forgot to, I ask for forgiveness. Step 5 looks to the future for the next 24 hours until we repeat the examen tomorrow. We look to God for assistance to do what we need to do to act in the next 24 hours so as to increase the joy, faith, hope, and love, and to minimize those times when we fail to see God's hand. Specifically, we submit to God's guidance for some particular area of our life, our prayer, who we are, what little project or resolution do we have to take us to a fruitful examen tomorrow? We ask that kind of question. What do I need to be aware of or cautious of or seek more of in the days and the hours to come? What's tomorrow going to look like with God's help? Now, as I say, this is one way of doing the examen. These 5 steps, practiced consistently day in and day out, will change us and bring us closer to God. For me, as I confessed at the outset, the hard part is not whether I know the steps. The hard part is for me to do the 5 steps long term. If I am so busy that I find it hard to fit God into my life, the question, of course, is, what do I need to give up? Or if the problem is not starting, but rather continuing, more likely, that my long-term energy to do this dissipates, might it be that I am trying to accomplish this all by myself? It occurs to me that this problem will not be dealt with for as long as I make the faithful attention to the examen another self-improvement project. I won't endure because I'm trying to do this on my own. Rather, I need to accept the outcome of the examen process itself. Have I asked for the Holy Spirit to open my eyes? Have I looked to what works and what doesn't? Have I asked God's help to look to and make concrete my hope for the future? Have I become more grateful, more willing to look with God's clear eyes at myself? Have I followed through on the daily resolutions of step 5? The examen is not just one more thing to do. It is not just to make me feel better about myself. The examen brings us to a new heart, to a new way of being. And if I have trouble sticking with it, maybe I just need more of it. Maybe it will be enough for me to make this video and talk about this challenge of mine in public so that I will finally walk the talk on this daily project of the examen, that I will let myself be changed every day. Let me know in the comments what your advice is for stick-to-itiveness in our faith journey. How do you persevere? let others see your wisdom. Now I ask, if you've received any benefit from this, hit the like button, and to know when future videos come out, subscribe and hit the bell to receive alerts. It doesn't cost a dime, and it keeps us better connected. Let me know how you endure in and complete your resolutions. May God bless you for being with me. I look forward to being with you in the days to come. Thank you.